Oh, sorry. Hello, and welcome once again to That's English. Ashley?
Yes, Annabelle?
Come on, the programme started.
Oh, God, really? I'm sorry.
Yes, and our viewers are waiting.
All right.
So, Ashley, I can see you're very happy with your new e-reader.
Oh, yes, it's so convenient. You can download books directly, so you don't have to take lots of heavy books. Just this little device.
Oh, I love the feel of books.
Yeah, I love them too. But digital books are here to stay. So, what's today's documentary about?
It's about the business of making books, publishing.
But the future is digital, Annabelle.
Oh, maybe, maybe not. Well, I think you're going to enjoy the documentary. It also talks about people publishing their own work on the internet.
Interesting. That's very popular now.
As you watch, try to find the answer to this question. What do publishing houses have to do if they want to stay in business?
Let's watch.
Not so many people are reading traditional books nowadays. Some libraries are closing and bookshop sales are falling. Does this mean that people have stopped reading? What about the success of the Stieg Larsson trilogy and the Harry Potter series? No. What is changing is the way that people read and how they buy books. More and more people are reading books on electronic devices, such as e-readers, tablets, and mobile phones. Buying a book has never been easier. You can download it or buy the print version online. This is bad news for bookshops. Stacey Brown, who works in a conventional publishing house, explains how modern technology has changed how books are produced.
These days, many writers don't need a contract with a traditional publishing house. Now, anyone can publish their work online themselves. The success of people like E.L. James is encouraging more people to self-publish. Her book, 50 Shades of Grey, was first published online in 2011. Between print and e-book versions, it sold over 5 million copies and was the best-selling book in British history.
We asked Miranda Williamson, a writer who has published a number of novels online, if self-publishing is a good idea.
It might be, but most authors who self-publish do not earn much money. So E.L. James, in a way, is an exception. There will be more and more books on the market, so it will be even harder to sell your book. But on the positive side, writers will no longer have to go around trying to find a publisher for their book. But I think if the public like a book, it doesn't matter to them how it's been published.
It's clear that any publishing house that wants to stay in business has to incorporate modern technology into its plans. Downloadable books are here to stay, so we have to adapt and make our products available online.
The importance of social media is also having a noticeable impact on the publishing industry.
Electronic social media such as Twitter and Facebook are becoming more and more essential to promote products, particularly to young people. Sound will also become important. For example, books will have sound effects.
All this may lead us to predict that printed books will disappear.
No, some people will always want to read in the traditional way, but the number of paper book readers will decrease dramatically with every new generation.
So for the moment, print is still here. But for how much longer?
So anyone can publish their book online today. You don't even need a publisher.
That's right.
So did you find the answer to our question, which was, what do publishing houses have to do if they want to stay in business?
Let's watch again.
It's clear that any publishing house that wants to stay in business has to incorporate modern technology into its plans.
Did you get that? The answer is publishing houses have to incorporate modern technology into their plans.
Yes, of course they do.
I suppose so. Anyway, I think we should listen to how people around the world read.
Yes, we asked them, how popular is reading in your country among young people?
I don't think reading is very popular anymore, unless it's Harry Potter or some of the popular books, but it's more TV and computers.
Young people in New Zealand read a lot because we have an excellent state-funded public library service.
Reading is very popular amongst young people, books, magazines, but I believe it's most popular on Kindles or iPads, electronic.
Reading is a very popular thing in Jamaica. I don't think e-books have really caught on yet, but it is definitely a thing.
I would say it's shockingly low, disappointingly low. I think that nowadays with e-readers and with the internet, we now have a young generation that has been raised completely online.
I'd say reading's quite popular. Nowadays, it's more to do with the Kindles and e-books and things like that. Even sort of audiobooks are becoming more popular. So yeah, it's popular.
There has been a big push for reading lately, especially with Harry Potter and Twilight coming into existence. Young kids have really jumped on the bandwagon for reading.
So, Annabelle, lots of people enjoy reading and they read on electronic devices. You might have to get one.
But not everyone agrees. For example, the American woman.
She said the number of people who read was shockingly low, disappointingly low.
Sí, es alarmante lo poco que leen.
Yes, that is a pity. Right, it's time for today's episode of That's Britain.
Yes, today Nigel goes to Rochester, the place where Charles Dickens lived.
What a brilliant writer.
Yes, he was. Now, as you watch, try to find the answer to this question. When does the bookshop sell most copies of Dickens's books?
Let's see.
Hello! Today I'm in Chatham and Rochester in Kent. Could you tell me what Chatham and Rochester are famous for?
Well, one thing is the wonderful royal docks where ships were built for hundreds of years. It's now a fantastic museum. And of course it's the reason why Charles Dickens was here in the first place. His father worked at the docks.
And can I ask why you're dressed as you are?
We do guided tours round Rochester led by Dickens characters. So I am Nancy from Oliver Twist.
And you?
Mr. Jaggers from Great Expectations.
Wow, in your Dickensian costumes. Well, thank you very much for talking to me. So, Chatham is famous because the writer Charles Dickens used to live here and because it was the centre for England's navy. Let's take a look at the ships first. From the time of King Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth I, England's navy was based in Chatham. Ships were built and repaired here, and by the middle of the 18th century, this had become one of the largest industrial organisations in the world, with thousands of skilled workers. I'm here with Chris, who works at the historic dockyard in Chatham. So, Chris, why is the dock so important?
These docks and these ships are what this place was all about. For several hundred years, dockyards like this built and maintained ships for the Royal Navy.
Great, thanks very much, Chris.
Pleasure.
Charles Dickens lived in Chatham from the age of 4 till 11, and then again for the last 14 years of his life. Many of his ideas for stories and characters came from here. This is Eastgate House. It was built in 1590 for one of the important officers at Chatham Docks. Dickens often used to walk along this high street as a child. A short distance from Eastgate House, we find this shop, Baggins Book Bazaar. Let's take a look inside. I'm here with John, who works in the bookshop. John, tell me, do you sell many of Dickens' novels?
It depends on the time of year. There's a Dickens festival in the first week of June and the first week of December, which is when we sell most of our Dickens books.
And what would I do if I wanted to learn more about Charles Dickens?
There's Dickens World nearby.
What's that?
It's a theme park where you can see, touch and smell Dickensian England.
Ah, we use the word Dickensian to describe the people, places and customs that Dickens wrote about. Aha, the Pickwick Papers. I've just come from Eastgate House. Dickens used the house in this novel, but he called it Westgate. That's all we have time for in Chatham. In the next programme, we're going to Brighton on the south coast. See you there.
Just think, Ashley, Charles Dickens himself walked along those streets in Rochester.
Yeah, and there's even a shop full of old books. Perfect for you.
My idea of heaven. Ashley, did you know that Dickens's father worked in Chatham's dockyards, en los astilleros de Chatham, near Rochester?
No, I didn't. Anyway, our question was, when does the bookshop sell most copies of Dickens's books?
Let's watch it again.
I'm here with John, who works in the bookshop. John, tell me, do you sell many of Dickens' novels?
It depends on the time of year. There's a Dickens festival in the first week of June and the first week of December, which is when we sell most of our Dickens books.
So, the bookshop sells most copies of Dickens's books in the first week of June and the first week of December.
That's right. Well, that's all we have time for today. See you soon for the next programme of That's English. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.